Hey guys, Unlucky AngelStar, and yet again, it's about the time to talk about one of my favorite games, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. You've probably already seen my last video on my 13 Nintendo characters who I think could make it in Smash. If you haven't, check it out after the end of this video, or just pause the video and then watch it. This is technically a part 2 with my top 13 third-party characters I think could make it in Super Smash Bros. So the rules are simple, no assist trophies and no costume characters, as much as I really wanted to put Shovel Knight and Shantae. Also, I won't be adding spirits that weren't part of the main game, which is kind of a shame because now I really want Sakuna for Smash Bros. But other than that, anyone is fair game. So let's begin with lucky number 13. At number 13 is a character I really want for Smash, but honestly I can't put him higher than number 13 in all honesty. This might come as a bit of a shock considering how low he is. It's Sora from Kingdom Hearts. I have nothing against the Kingdom Hearts franchise. I've been a big fan since I've played the first game. Kingdom Hearts 2 is my favorite. Also, the DS version is extremely underrated. But Sora's pretty low on this list on account of, well, we already have a good amount of characters from Square Enix. Cloud, the hero from Dragon Quest, and Sephiroth. And considering we already have one Square Enix character in Fighters Pass 2, I don't think that we're going to get another one anytime soon. Also, it's really hard to tell whether or not Sora is actually owned by Square Enix or Disney. The licensing is so complicated, it might even be hard for Nintendo to get a character like this. But the next character I think might be possible, but you might not like it. When it comes to third-party characters that a lot of people think should make it in Smash Bros., I really doubt Princess Connect Redive is on that list. And as you can probably take a guess from that franchise, I'm of course talking about the peckish Princess Pecorine. Try saying that 5 times fast. I could have also chosen the main characters from Grand Blue Fantasy, but honestly I really have no information on Grand Blue Fantasy. Also, the series technically never really crossed over with Nintendo. Pecorine actually has. Of course, I'm referring to the crossover event with Dragalia Lost, which is one of my favorite events, considering we also got a new costume for Cleo, best character in that game, don't at me. But I also think Pecorine will also have a good balance in her fighting style, being a heavy-hitting sword fighter, using a battle system somewhat similar to her appetite. The more she eats, the more powerful she gets. If you want to know more about the Princess Connect series, I highly recommend you check out the Princess Connect Redive anime. Season 2 is actually coming out, and I'm actually really excited. Probably one of the most popular picks right now, but yeah, he's at number 11 and I'm very sorry about this. And that person is Crash Bandicoot. I have nothing against the franchise whatsoever. I am a huge Crash fan, though technically I'm more of a Spyro fan than Crash. But I really love the games. I spent hours upon hours on CTR Nitro Fueled. I feel like his inclusion might be short term now, considering what happened with Activision. There was also a rumor that originally Tracer was also going to be in Smash Bros., but you know, Activision Blizzard doesn't like good things. I would go into more detail, but I'm not really the person you'd actually talk to about that type of stuff. I think Crash is a high popular choice, but it's really hard to say whether or not Crash will make it in Smash Bros. Or not, or if he'll even get the boot. I still would love this guy in Smash Bros., but I'd love it though if Toys for Bob was owned by a different company entirely. At number 10 is 2 characters instead of 1, and I ain't talking like an Ice Climbers thing, they're actually 2 separate characters, but what they have in common is that they're owned by Bandai Namco, and they're kind of forgotten at time by most people. These characters are Valkyrie and Clenola. Now you're probably asking, who's Valkyrie? Well, back in the old arcade eras of Namco, a Japanese exclusive game known as Densetsu no Valkyrie, at least that's what I think the title was called, was like a combination of Galaga mixed with The Legend of Zelda. And honestly, this game actually looks really cool, but sadly, the game never really got an English release that I know of. In fact, the closest thing I can find to her debut in the West is through Project Cross Zone, which is somewhat of a sequel to the Japanese RPG Namco x Capcom. Now, Clenola I definitely know some people will know of on account of, well, it's Clenola. It's one of the funnest platform games most people have never played. I tied these 2 characters on account of, well, they're both obscure in their own rights, and considering that Kazuya was already chosen to join Smash Bros. From the Tekken series, I really doubt that Valkyrie or Clenola would be top priority. And might as well say right here, I didn't bother adding any character from the Tales series, considering I've never really actually played a Tales game. You know what kind of character we need more in Smash Bros? Shooters. And I ain't talking about Call of Duty or any of that kind of stuff. Borderlands maybe, but I've never played Borderlands either. But I'm gonna of course go old school. We'll add more representation to SNK. Now, honestly, I love playing as Terry, but I've never played a Fatal Fury game in my life, or King of Fighters. In fact, I'm more familiar with SNK through Metal Slug. And if you know who I'm talking about, I'm of course talking about Marka along with Tarma, Eri, and Theo. Just like with characters like Olimar and Alf, or the Bowser Jr. and the Koopalings, I think it would make sense if you could choose all 4 characters in one character spot. I mean, it makes sense they all use the same weapons and would have slight differences in their taunts, but the weaponry and arsenals they would use, especially for the Metal Slug weapon as their final smash, would still be fairly the same. I mean, I'm really happy that we got Metal Slug music, and sadly that does deconfirm them as characters, but I didn't add music on this list on account of, well, Metal Slug is a really cool series, and I just want to talk more about it. I might even stream the series soon. Okay, now I'm gonna start adding more characters I think are more iconic as third parties. So I think we're probably tired of fighting game characters, which is a shame considering the next character is a fighting character. But I doubt anyone wouldn't mind considering I chose Chun Li from Street Fighter. Obviously a fan favorite character in the Street Fighter series, appearing in not just every Street Fighter game known to man, but also being featured in tons of fighting game crossovers. So it would make sense if you wanted to choose another fighting game character to represent the series, I think Chun Li would be the best choice. But considering that Nintendo is a game for good boys and girls, and Mai Shiranui was not even considered a spirit on account of, well, you know, I don't know if Chun Li would fit in that same category. But a person can dream, right? The next character is from another favorite series of mine that actually got a resurgence in popularity, and is getting a new game soon. That being Ai from Super Monkey Ball. A part of me would also want to put Mimi, Baby, and Gongon as different color palettes. I'm just going to put Ai as his own singular character because I always liked Ai the most. And when you think of collaborations with Sega and Nintendo, a lot of people generally think Super Monkey Ball. It was originally a GameCube exclusive back when the game launched until they made the deluxe edition. And thanks to the HD remake of Banana Blitz, one of the worst versions of Monkey Ball, even though I still bought it for full price, I wanted to still support the series. We're now finally getting a new Monkey Ball series that's even having a crossover of its own, featuring characters from Jet Set Radio and Yakuza. Fun fact, the Yakuza series is also made by the Super Monkey Ball creator, but I didn't bother adding anyone from Yakuza on account of, well, I've never played Yakuza either. I tend to play a lot of obscure games. Speaking of obscure, I've already done a moveset concept on this character. And if you know who I'm talking about Bub and Bob from the Bubble Bobble series. What's there to say about Bubble Bobble other than it would be a very unique moveset, and I feel like Taito didn't really get any representation at all. With a term like Everyone Is Here, I'd feel like it would make sense if you also add some representation from classic arcade titles, or even at least a Bub and Bob spirit, please. Though the title company is not as big as it used to be, I still think Bub and Bob would be the best choice out of their entire lineup. Unless you really want to play as the tank from the Space Invaders games. Would probably work better as an assist trophy. Now these two characters are actually third parties not released on a Nintendo console, but originally aired on the Xbox. And no, it's not Master Chief. I know that Microsoft and Nintendo have been really buddy-buddy, especially considering they gave us Banjo-Kazooie and Minecraft to join the battle. But if they were to add another character from Microsoft, I think they would be the most obscure character you could think of, though not that obscure considering it's got a cult following, Rasputin from Psychonauts. I mean, the sequel literally just came out, and I betcha people already love it. Not to mention, we need more psychic-based ability characters, and I feel like Raz definitely fits that category. He's a platformer just like our other characters that are in Smash Brothers, most of them. Plus, I just really want Psychonauts on the Switch! I mean, it was even on the PlayStation 4 for goodness sake. Why is there no Psychonauts on the Switch? But if it came to choices for Microsoft to choose a character in Smash, the next character I think is the best choice. This series actually got a port on the Switch, and it's probably one of my favorite franchises of all time. And if you can tell from the music, I'm of course talking about Ori from the Ori collection. It's probably one of the most beautiful games of all time, and is probably my definition of art in video games. But I feel like when it comes to attacks that Ori can use, I think the evolution was definitely shown in the newer game of the series, the Will-O-the-Wisp. Though I will give credit to the creator of Rivals of Aether making an entire moveset for Ori based off the first game. And if you're wondering, yes, there will be a moveset concept for Ori sometime in the future. I just want a lot more time to think about the moveset is all. I would have put Ori at number 3, but considering we already have 2 characters from Microsoft, I feel like we already have enough characters already as it is, as much as I want Ori. But these last 3 I feel like should be in Smash Brothers, so let's talk about the last 3 characters. You know, we usually think of an iconic team of people in Smash Brothers. Obviously, you already got some big names like Mario and Luigi, Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong, Ryu and Ken, but there's like one dynamic duo I feel like did not get represented yet in Smash Brothers. And the character I think would be better than the one a lot of people tend to think of is Miles Tails Prower from the Sonic series. As much as a lot of people really like Dr. Eggman joining Smash Brothers, and sure, Eggman's been around longer than Tails, but I feel like it just makes more sense that you put Sonic and Tails in Smash before Sonic and Eggman. I mean, Mario and Luigi got to be in Smash, and eventually we got DK and Diddy. Not to mention, I feel like when it comes to Sonic representation in Smash Brothers, we've been done dirty considering not many people play as Sonic. Especially considering he probably has one of the worst final smashes in the game. Tails would have, of course, a variety of stuff to use, like, of course, his tails, a lot of gadgets and doodads, and, of course, his final smash being the tornado. I find it weird that we just never yet added a Sonic character in Smash. Or at least another Sega character. And before anyone says it, Bayonetta represents Platinum and Joker represents Atlas. I rest my case. At number 2 is probably one of the most wanted characters as well, and is owned by a company that's been really good friends with Nintendo for a while. And I've been a fan of his games since the N64 era. I'm of course referring to Rayman. When it comes to characters and third-party choices, Rayman was a little bit on the top 10 parts, somewhere between the 9 and the 10 parts. But considering we already have tons of the biggest names in the series, I think Rayman's time to shine. Not to mention, Nintendo and Ubisoft have been really buddy-buddy to the point where Mario even crossed over with the Raving Rabbids of all series. Plus, we also got trophies and a spirit representing the Rayman series, which came out during the launch of the game, so Rayman doesn't break any rules of this list. It's still crazy when it comes to all these characters. Rayman has yet to get representation, even though when it comes to Smash leaks, he's kind of notorious. But sadly, he's at number 2 because my number 1 choice goes to Arl Naja from Puyo Puyo. When I feel like there's a series that gets really no love, especially from the US, Puyo Puyo is definitely one of those titles. I mean, the only reason anyone really cared about the Puyo Puyo series was because it literally crossed over with one of the most iconic puzzle games, Tetris. But Puyo Puyo is also iconic too. It's extremely popular and competitive in Japan. Not to mention, it's already crossed over with Sonic quite a few times and is Sega's 5 biggest franchises, on par with is Sonic and Yakuza. I mean, they have a Japanese mobile game where it's crossing over with Re:Zero. Re:Zero. I feel like when it comes to game franchises that are represented, we have quite a lot of characters on our plate. We've got platformers, we've got racers, we've got RPGs. We even got shooters with Duck Hunt. Though I feel like that if there's one series that's very underutilized in Smash Brothers, it would be puzzle games. And as much as some people would want a Tetramino to join Smash Brothers, I think the best choice would be Arl Naja, representing the biggest puzzle game in Japan, Puyo Puyo. And with that, those are my unlucky 13 choices on third-party characters I think should be in Super Smash Bros. If you also have some third-party characters or even Nintendo characters that could make it in Smash, leave them down in the comments. And if you like this, you can also check out my other content. I talk about anime, video games, and honestly, whatever I feel like. So thanks for watching, and see you next time.